So I think for this lesson, it's going to be long. So I'm just going to dive right into it. It's True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. And let me just adjust my laptop so that it's facing me a little bit better. I have it up higher so I can see it a little clearer. True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. And you might remember it from the Trolls movie from a few years back. Phil Collins, the drummer and singer for the band, the rock band Genesis, who I love Genesis. I love Phil Collins, amazing drummer, great singer, amazing. He did a cover of it. I wasn't a big fan of his cover of it, but whatever. So anyway, make sure that you're in tune, okay, because we are going to be up as high as the 10th fret for some single note things. But then, as far as that's concerned, the chords and everything are really quite easy. The timing's a little weird, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not that difficult. The hardest thing about the whole song was I wrote it all out and figured it all out. And then every time the intro comes back, it's slightly different. And the chords, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I think that's an F. No, wait, I think it's a D minor. Like, the instrumentation of the song is so sparse, so few notes and everything. It's really stripped down to really showcase Cyndi Lauper's voice. Amazing voice, incredible. I've always loved her stuff from like way back when I was growing up in the 80s and she first came out. This is a beautiful song. She's a great songwriter. She didn't write this one though, but it's a beautiful song and her voice is just amazing on it. So definitely listen to the original version of it. So anyway, it's so stripped down note-wise that it gets really tricky trying to figure out what some of these chords were. And I think I would have it and I would play along and I'd go, yeah, that sounds right. No, it doesn't. And I'd have to like go through it. It took me like a week to work out this whole song. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into it. So the intro, it starts with like a drum beat thing for 2 measures. Okay? Then there's some like synth sounds in the back and the little melody thing that's happening over the top. So the chords end up in the background being A minor, G, C, F. Okay, but we're going to do the little melody part. So it starts at the 10th fret on the A string, 10th fret, and then the 7th fret and 8th fret on the E strings. Is basically the little melody. So the timing of it, and of course it's all written out for you. The timing of it, we're going to count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, but actually at the end, the end of the first line, it does the 4 and, as I've written out, the 7, 8 is counted on the 4 and then starts again on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the intro. So I'll play the intro. So 1 and 2 and blah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then it goes into the verse. So actually the vocals start at that pause at the end of the intro. So they actually come in before we hit that first chord for the verse. But not a big deal. Okay. So now for the verses and the choruses, we're actually going to count incorrectly, okay? And I think it just makes it a lot easier because in the end, you're just going to play it without counting. You're just going to be doing the timing in your head. Okay, so instead of counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to count 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're kind of counting double time. So then, like, the intro would end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So the reasoning is some of the chords are 2 beats long, which would be totally fine. Some of the chords are 1.5 beats, and then other chords are 2.5 beats. So throughout most of the song, we would end up be counting 1.5s and 2.5s, and we could do it, but I think it's a lot simpler if we start counting double time. Okay, so instead of 1 and 2 and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so with that being said, the verse is A minor for 2 beats in the song, but we're going to count it as 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. And then the C is 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to strum the C again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's where the first C would be 1.5 beats in the song, and then the next C would be 2.5 beats. So 1.5 plus 2.5 add up to 4. Okay, but it's easier if we counted 3 and 5, adding up to 8. So the first line of the verse is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Not really the best way to count it, but I think it makes it a lot easier for the song, so we're going to do it. Okay. And as long as, you're aware that we are counting it kind of incorrectly in the reasoning why, then I'm totally fine with counting it incorrectly. So the verse now is really quite simple. So 1, 2, 3, so A minor 2, 3, 4, G 2, 3, C 2, 3, C 2, 3, 4, 5, F is 3, and then F again is 5. Okay, and the reason we're doing that is when you listen to the song, there's accents there. Okay, so instead of doing the first line 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It sounds better if we throw in an extra strum on the C on the 4th beat after the 3 count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was F, F, A minor for 3, and then G for 5. Then C for 4, D minor for 4, C for 3, F for 5, A minor for 3, G for 5, D minor for 3, C for 5. Okay, so we end up with the verse being 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Easy. Then the chorus still does some of the, actually a lot of the 3 and the 5. But by now you should be getting a feel for that anyway. And remember that the counting, if we do like the C, that's 3 and then 5. So if we counted for real, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? So we're strumming on the 1 and 2 and after the 2, 3 and 4 and. So that's really how it should be counted, but you get it. So then the chorus is 3s and 5s, except for one spot where there's a G sus4, and then it goes to a G. So the G sus4, what I'm doing is I'm playing a G, so 0, 2, 3, 2, from the G to the A string. And if I put my pinky down on the 3rd fret of that highest string, the A string, that's a G sus4, then I can lift my pinky up and get a G. Okay? So the chorus ends up being 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was F, C, G sus4, G. F, C, F, 1, 2, 3, and then the G sus4 is 1, 2, 3, and the G is 1, 2. Then F, 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3 is 5. Then the D minor is 2, A minor is 5, F, C, 3 and 5, F, 3, C and 5. Then the G sus4 is held for, in the song of full measure, we're going to count it as 8 beats. Okay, so the chorus ends up being 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I counted it as 8 beats at 4 and 4. Okay, so there we are. That's the verse, and then that's the chorus. Okay, then the little intro-ish comes in again. Okay, in 10th fret, and it's and it now adds an extra note in that first part, which then moves the 7 and 8 notes like a half a beat over. Okay, so originally it was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, with that 7, 8 on 4 and. Now it's on and 4, because we have an and as the open string is now the and that gets added in. So the pause gets shortened and the notes kind of get moved over. Okay, and again, this is just explaining it all with numbers. If you just listen to it, you'll hear how it goes. So that little intro is okay, with the same pause at the end, like we did at the intro, and the vocals come in at that point too, just like before. So in the verse is exactly the same. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the chorus is exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then did I lose my spot? I think I lost my spot. Okay, then we get to the intro again, and it is slightly different again. Surprise, surprise, right? So, okay, so now it's like the first part of the last time the intro came back. Okay, so it's And then it does that again without the pause at the end. Because when it goes back to a verse, there's actually no vocals for the first few measures. I think she sings like ooh or something, and then whispers something, I can't remember the last time I saw you smile or something. It's like whispered really quietly. But anyway, so the intro-ish that pops up now is... It goes right to the A minor chord for the verse, and the verse again is exactly the same. It sounds like I'm slightly out of tune. And then I threw my counting off. Okay, and then we have the chorus and sort of the outro thing, and I'm just gonna pause for a second and tune up. There's new strings on the ukulele, and with them being nylon, plastic, they keep stretching. I restrung this last week, and I've been tuning it like multiple times a day, and they keep stretching out. And you can like take them and really kind of stretch them, but I don't like to do that. It seems like awfully violent with the strings. So I'll be right back. So I'm all tuned up. The chorus at the end is like a double chorus. Okay, so with a slight kind of change there. It just basically, if I'm remembering correctly, it doesn't do that G sus4 held for the 8 count. So at any rate, it's all written out for you. So the chorus, 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. So that last line that we just did kind of ends up being the first line of the second go through of the chorus. Okay, so the chorus ends up being in previous versions of the chorus. The way I have it written out is 4 lines, and then the 5th line is the G sus4. So if we were doing double choruses, 4 lines plus that G sus4 line is 5 lines. A double chorus would be 10 lines. This ends up being 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 lines, because it does the G sus4 at the end. So there's a line missing somewhere, and it's right there where I just stopped us. So that sort of last line that I just played is really kind of almost the first line of the next go through of the chorus. Okay, it's sort of a little bit blurry exactly where the chorus ended and the next one starts. So at any rate, then that's the first 5 lines that I've written out. Then we do F, C, F, G sus4, G, F, C. Okay, then big change. Ooh, I just said that really loud. An E7 chord. Okay, so wait, what am I doing here? Is that, yeah, that's an E7, right? I'm totally going blank. E7. Yeah, so it would be that. That doesn't sound right at all. Why don't I like that? Would I want to play it this way? Yeah, I guess that's how we're going to do it. Let me think about it for a second. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I realized, because I wrote this out like, I don't know, over a week ago. And then had another, did a different ukulele lesson in the middle. But nonetheless, so I totally forgot what I was doing for the E7, and then I remembered. So we're going to do the E7, and I chose this because when you play it, it sounds really cool. But anyway, I don't think this has ever popped up in a lesson before, this E7. But you know, I was like playing around with like, okay, well, that's an E, so like that's an E7, but I don't like that. It's too high up. So what we're gonna do is on the G, first fret, on the C, second fret, the open E string, and then on the A string, the second fret. So, okay, and what that ends up doing is it's keeping all the notes of the chord right around the F and the C that we've just been doing. And then we end up with the E7, and then I like that note going up for the A minor, and I think it sounds really nice. So anyway, so the last 4 lines now of the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that E7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F, C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's the G sus4, and it's now held just free time. Okay, because she sings the last line, rubato, which is just sort of free time, however she felt like it. And then we come back in with the intro again, and it only does it one time, and it's like the last line of the intro. And it starts a retard, a slow down about halfway through. So it comes back in at the same tempo that we've been doing. So she does the free time little vocal line, which is like a retard, things slow down. And then that comes back in. And it starts slowing down. It actually starts slowing down about halfway through. I started slowing down a little bit late. But anyway, when you listen to the song, you can do it. And then we have the outro is now that drum beat from the beginning, from the very beginning. But now it's 4 measures long. At the beginning it was only 2. So there we are. That is the song, True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. And it was interesting to try to figure it all out. But thanks for sticking around for that whole lesson. I have no idea how long it was. I have a feeling it was a little less than 30 minutes, but I thought it was going to be a lot longer. So anyway, True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. It's great. And it's a lot of fun to play. It's a really beautiful song. And I really like how it's interesting how it kind of evolves as it goes. And what we don't really get with the ukulele lesson that I just did is the instrumentation changes a bit. There's, you know, more synthesizers in, and there's different instruments that come in and then step back out again and things like that. It's really interesting. I like it. And the ending chorus is interesting, how it's sort of both together but like missing a line, and then that one E7 chord right there in the middle of like that sort of second go through of the chorus. It's really nice. But anyway, so there you go, and I will see you next week.